All right, ladies and gentlemen, I am joined with my next guest on the show from Wing of Honor. I am joined with Matt Taven right here, right now. What's going on, Matt?
Hey, what's going on?
I'm doing real good, and thank you for being on the show.
Oh, no, thank you.
All right, let's go ahead and begin here. How did you get started in wrestling?
Well, let's see. I was a fan from a very, very young age, about six, and it was always something that I would, just do as a kid, and just kind of jumping around with my friends. I always loved wrestling. And then obviously like the backyard wrestling that everyone got into. I just loved wrestling around, but I never thought about it seriously, until I was after college, and once I got out of school. A buddy of mine was wrestling, and he asked me to come down and just check it out, and I fell in love with it. And then I went off to get trained by Spike as soon as I realized that this is definitely the direction I wanted to go in.
Do you remember the first match you've ever had, and if so, who was your opponent, and where did it took place?
First match I ever had is March 7th, 2008, in Somerville, Massachusetts, at a place called Good Time Emporium, and I wrestled a wrestler by the name of Todd Sopel.
And were you nervous leading up to that match? I mean, how did you feel about having your first match?
Uh, I remember more excitement than anything. Definitely the first time you go out there, it's like, you want everything to go so perfect. You want to look the way like you envisioned it always happening. And obviously it's on a much smaller scale, but I just remember being very excited. A lot of my friends came to my first match and stuff, and it was a really good atmosphere. And I really, knew the kids that I was working with that day for a while, so we trusted each other and went out there and had a blast. I look back on it and kind of laughed because, uh, I can remember it so clearly, and I've had so many matches after that that I could barely remember. But I can remember that match so clearly. Every step I took, and watching it back, it just makes you smile how excited you were going into it.
And what was it like being with a part of Ring of Honor, and how did that came about?
Well, the first time I ever wrestled for Ring of Honor was in 2009. I did a couple of dark matches for them and a couple of pre-show matches for a couple of live events in Boston, Edison, and Philadelphia. And that actually, the first step I got into the Ring of Honor was through Bobby Cruz, the ring announcer, who knew me. He's from this area. He got to see me work a couple of times, and had some faith in me, and decided to let people at Ring of Honor, try to give me a shot. And I struggled trying to really break through there and get like consistent work throughout the couple of years. And I went down. I did a couple of things in Louisville and back in Philadelphia, and not until the beginning of last year did I definitely get some more exposure on their TV. And then the match I had with Mike Mondo just ended up really breaking things open. It was really kind of breakout moment for my career in general.
Obviously, Ring of Honor, without a doubt, probably the more, at least from what I feel, is probably the more wrestling feel show. What I mean by that is that it's more wrestling and less everything else, and it's a type of show that even a casual wrestling fan could be proud of. Um, and you got the Davey Richards, you got the Kevin Steens, you got the Adam Coles, you have, I mean, the list goes on and on. I mean, how does it feel to be a part of a roster filled with that many talented guys in that ring?
I mean, it's great just because you know that no matter who you're going to be end up stepping in the ring with, that they're an amazing athlete, and that you're going to be able to put on a great performance with whoever they put you in the ring with. Everyone on that roster, like you said, from the top to the bottom, is one of the best wrestlers in the world. And the Mike Bennett's, the Tommaso Ciampa's, Eddie Edwards, like getting in the ring with any of these guys, you know that you have to step up your game because they're amazing in the first place. So then when you get in there ready to go, I mean, it's nothing but very, very high quality, high intensity wrestling, and a lot of the pure wrestling fans, definitely seem to pick up on it and really enjoy it. So it's something special to be a part of.
Now, obviously, Ring of Honor is on television. Is on, I guess, your local Fox channel. Have you ever had a chance to watch the Ring of Honor TV shows, especially the ones that you are a part of? And if so, what's the reaction you get when you see yourself on TV? I mean, like, wow, that's me? That's me out there just doing my thing? I mean, what's the reaction you get when you see yourself on television?
Well, first off, Boston, where I live, doesn't actually get Ring of Honor up here, which is disappointing, but hopefully they will. I've been able to watch it in Providence. I had a couple of buddies that have recorded for me or watch it online, and it's funny because you almost get as excited as you do while you're wrestling. Like it's like you're watching it, but you're also trying to like control yourself as you watch it. You just want everything to go as perfectly as you imagined. And usually when people watch themselves in any match, watch themselves back, they're usually at the edge of their seat, and they're kind of giving them, like, doing the body language, trying to make sure everything goes right as they watch it. But it's definitely a cool experience. And like I said, that Mike Mondo match that happened on TV was really awesome to watch, or for people to get out and watch it, because people that I grew up with that I knew were wrestling fans as little kids, out of nowhere were texting me and just saying that they saw the match and that they were really impressed. And I mean, it was definitely a time where I knew, like, I could definitely make an impact in any organization I was in.
Who do you consider as influences in your wrestling career?
Well, I grew up, I think the first wrestler that I really idolized was like the Ultimate Warrior. As a little kid, just seeing all the colors and the entrance and the pomp and circumstance that came along with him and the Macho Man. And as I started wrestling, I think my influence is definitely focused on guys that were similar size and athleticism to me. The Macho Man, Bret Hart, Shawn Michaels, Chris Jericho, Rob Van Dam, and just guys that obviously, like, I was entertained by watching as a kid or as a teen. And there's a reason why you pick up on certain guys and you relate to them as a fan. And it's because, if that was you in the ring, that's how you would want to create your style or create your image after. And I definitely want to, obviously walk in the shoes of those guys who've made it to the top. And I think that, they're all amazing performers. And when you go back and watch them now, you do nothing but, like, learn and try to take little bits and pieces from each one of them and make them your own.
When it comes to being a character in the wrestling ring, or wrestling shows for that matter, do you like being the baby face or do you like being the heel?
It really doesn't matter to me. Like, both, no matter what I'm doing, it's not too far from who I am as a person, just obviously turned up. But I'm very comfortable doing either or. So to me, it really doesn't matter. I just like getting in the ring and trying to make the crowd, either get behind me or hate me.
For those just tuning in, you are listening to Triple Threat Wrestling Radio right here on ITMIRadio.com, Talk Channel 2. I'm joined with Ring of Honor wrestler Matt Taven Go check out Ring of Honor on, I guess, a city near you, ringofhonorwrestling.com for more info. And you may see Matt in action, in person. So go check it out. And other than Ring of Honor shows, you have any other shows outside of Ring of Honor that you would like to promote that you'll be a part of?
Yeah, I mean, I'm all over the place, but definitely if you go to the Matt Taven Facebook page or the Matt Taven Twitter, which is both just at Matt Taven or Facebook.com/Matt Taven, you can keep up to date with all the different stuff I'm doing. I'm doing Chaotic Wrestling up this weekend, which is a New England promotion, which has a roster full of guys that, need to get a spotlight out there. They need to be able to get on these shows like Ring of Honor or Dragon Gate or everything else that's out there, because it's full of just nothing but talent top to bottom. They just came back from Tennessee, did Crossfire down in Nashville, which was a great production, a great show that they put on, great crowd, very interactive, and an awesome locker room as well with the Matt Hardys and the Shane Helms and the Carlitos and Chris Masters of the world. You can do nothing but learn. And let's see. Like I said, there's obviously too many things to promote. One of my favorite places is Northeast Wrestling. I'm not sure when their next thing is coming up, but they're also another promotion to definitely check out. But like I said, you can go to the Matt Taven Facebook or Twitter and check out what promotions I'm working for and what I'm up to.
What are some other goals you would like to accomplish in your wrestling career?
Well, I think like anyone that gets into wrestling, they want to be at the very top. So my obvious goal is to one day be at WrestleMania and wrestle on the biggest show.
What would your advice be to anyone out there that wants to pursue their career as a wrestler? What would your advice be?
I think my biggest advice would be to believe in yourself. Have the confidence that if this is something that you are able to do, physically able to do, and want, that you're going to have to put in a lot of hard work. You're going to have to, really go out there and sacrifice. Is something I've, still do to this day is just go out there and bust my tail. I just came back from training tonight, and nothing's going to come overnight, but if you have the confidence in yourself and the dedication to get it done, anyone can make it happen. So you got to come into things that anyone that's aspiring to be a wrestler, come in thinking for the long haul and ready to put in a lot of hard work in.
What do you like the most of being a wrestler? Do you like being on the road? You like hanging out with your fellow peers, fan interaction? What do you like the most of being a wrestler?
I kind of like all the aspects in general. The traveling can be a little bit of pain. Sometimes you're driving, hours on end, but usually with a good crew, and the time seems to fly by. But to me personally, there's nothing like being in the ring and picturing how you want things to go, and then you get out there and they go exactly as planned. The audience, gets behind it or, hates it or whatever action you're looking for ends up happening. And it's just that moment where like you have control over what this audience is about to do next, and you really have got them, in the clenches there. That's something you live for, something that as a kid, when you watch wrestling, you're like, I want to be that guy. I want to be that guy that can either raise my arms and get, booed out of the place or cheered like he's a hero. So those moments are what you live for.
And who are some wrestlers out there? It could be Ring of Honor or people outside of Ring of Honor that you haven't had a chance to work with but would like to work with someday.
Me and Sammy Callahan have had a chance to work out together, but we've never had a match against each other, and I would love for me and Sammy to go one-on-one. I think he is one of the best unsigned talents. I also think El Generico, I think he, could be the best wrestler in the world. And I hope that one day I'll be able to work El Generico in a match as well. It's something I haven't been able to do. But there's a lot of guys out there that I would love to work again. I mean, and I come from the Northeast, and I'm very lucky that I got into, the independent scene up here, because this place is just a hotbed full of wrestlers, of guys that haven't got their chance yet, that are just unbelievably talented, from the Vinny Marsalias to the Dalton Castles to the Julian Zars. I could go on all day of guys that are up here that could easily have a spot on any television show.
Again, you can follow Matt Taven on Twitter at Matt Taven, and you can like him on Facebook at facebook.com/MacTaven. Keep an eye on this dude. Remember his name. He's going places. Have a bright future. It just seems like wrestling nowadays relies on people that's not necessarily the quote-unquote heavyweights. It seems like, back in the 90s, you had Bret Hart and Shawn Michaels. Nowadays, you have the likes of a CM Punk, Daniel Bryan, who are both Ring of Honor alumni, by the way. And you also have the Davey Witchers. You got the AJ Styles. You got all sorts of talent that's become main event caliber. You being the guy that's at least similar to their size and everything, how does that make you feel to see those type of guys getting the opportunities that they have?
Oh, it makes you feel great. I mean, that's why people. I'm 6'1", 6'2"-ish, like right on the border there, and I would have never been able to step foot into wrestling if it wasn't guys like Shawn Michaels and Bret Hart who broke the mold of the 6'8", 300-pound heavyweights. And as the time goes on, it seems like people enjoy good wrestling, and the more athletic, the more charismatic, the better storyteller you are. I mean, the cream rises to the top, and that's why you see guys like Punk and Daniel Finn or Daniel Bryan make it to the top of the WWE as well. So it's nothing but a good thing in my mind of the guys that can go up there and really go and really make it happen, get the spotlight, because there's, like I said, there's an unbelievable amount of talent out there that might not get the first look because they're 6 feet tall, 200 pounds, but when you actually sit down and watch, you realize that they're the real deal.
Well, Matt, I want to thank you so much for joining me on this show. You guys of Ring of Honor, without a doubt, y'all have big things in store. It's been 10 years since Ring of Honor started, and it's great to see the growth of Ring of Honor and where it's at today. And a lot of big things are in store for that company. And y'all keep up the great work. Y'all keep doing what y'all been doing. And hopefully more fans will recognize Ring of Honor because y'all going places. And WWE and TNA may need to watch their backs. I will say that. And I'm a fan of both companies. I'm a fan of Ring of Honor too. But they need to watch out for Ring of Honor because they're not going away anytime soon. But thank you so much for your time, Matt. Best of success goes out to you.
No, thank you, man. It was a blast.
You have a good night, sir.
You too.
All right, bye-bye.
Bye.
That was Ring of Honor's Matt Taven joining me here on Triple Threat Wrestling Radio.